Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a super exciting vinyl update! Whee! Not editing that, just gonna let it sit there awkwardly. Anyway, vinyl update. Like I said, vinyl update. And this one, as I already said, I'm so redundant right now, is a special one considering that last week was Record Store Day. If you guys remember, I did a recent video telling you some Record Store Day releases that I was looking forward to, that I was looking out for this coming Record Store Day. And yeah, you know what? I got some of those releases, and I'm just gonna share them with you now and let you know what I picked up and let you know what I got. And got a few things in here that aren't Record Store Day related that I just picked up because I wanted them. But some Record Store Day stuff in here. Let's start off with this big old puppy over here, big old baby. Oh man, when I said I was interested in this release, I didn't fully know the mammoth size of this thing. The 5 vinyl records that are in this package of this LCD Soundsystem live album. This is a track for track 5-hour recording of their final performance ever. And I haven't even laid the needle on this thing yet, mostly because it is so long. And honestly, I just want to have a day to listen to this thing. I don't want to like freaking stop in the middle of it or something like that, unless to flip the record or whatever, or get a drink or go to the bathroom. I mean, I want to listen to the whole thing, and this is most likely going to happen on a weekend, not this weekend, but I will be listening to this box set in its entirety. But, so again, I cannot comment on the production as of right now, but like so many great LCD Soundsystem tracks. I mean, on this thing, pretty much every track you would want on a freaking record of theirs. Like this, this kind of goodbye performance or anywhere or whatever. And just so elaborate. I mean, God. Here are the 5 individual records, all of which have, pictures of the people who are at the show with, sort of thank yous and credits and a slew of other things, sort of on the back sides of these records. And, so you have this giant mammoth cardboard sleeve that encapsulates the entire thing, and then you have like these mini sleeves, all of which are about the size of like a normal record sleeve that you would like buy in a record store, and further inside of these even more sleeves of pictures of balloons, pictures of the band playing, pictures of other various things that were there at the night of the show. So I mean, it is a pretty intensive package. And, considering LCD Soundsystem is one of my favorite bands of all time, and that I really did not go all out this past Record Store Day, I just said to myself, I feel like having it. I should have it this year, I mean, but part of one of my I guess disappointments with a previous Record Store Day, not this past one, but I remember vividly wanting but not purchasing at the moment that I could the 10-inch box set of the Upsetters Blackboard Jungle Dub, which is one of my favorite dub reggae records ever. Fortunately, however, I did not make that same mistake this time around this year when I grabbed this reissue of the Upsetters Super Ape, another fantastic dub reggae record if you are looking to get into that genre. And not only are the tracks on this thing good, vinyl sounds great. It's a double LP. Unfortunately, not in the gatefold. You guys know that I do have a pretty big crush on gatefolds in general, but it does come with a massive poster of the front of the record, and not only do the records sound real nice, but on the D side, we have an etching, of course. Nope, it's upside down. It's upside down, now it's right side up. Obviously, if you can see, that is the Super Ape right there. That is the Super Ape on the cover of the record. He is looking pretty super. He's definitely an ape. It's the Super Ape. So we do have a cool etching on the D side of this reissue. Totally sweet. Totally sweet. Also, down in the comments as I'm packing this up and putting it in, tell me what you think about people who buy record store day releases, these limited run releases, and then put them up on eBay immediately after. Have you ever done that? Do you make a ton of money off that? I'm just sort of... I heard a few people talking about that on Record Store Day, and I know there's some people who do it. I'm just sort of wondering if that's, it's like, I don't know, I buy these things because I want them, I'm not trying to speculate on anything. Here's another thing that I am very happy to have from this past Record Store Day. I think it came out a little earlier than Record Store Day. I could be totally wrong on that, but I did get it in honor of Record Store Day. Record Store Day, yes. Dead Kennedys, In God We Trust Incorporated, massively fantastic hardcore punk EP, the fastest EP, the fastest collection of songs I've ever heard them play. Like, Jello Biafra doesn't even care about whether his lyrics are intelligible most of the time. They're playing these songs so goddamn fast. I think We've Got a Bigger Problem Now is one of my first favorite Dead Kennedys tracks. That and Nazi Punks Fuck Off. And both of those are on this EP. It's 11 inches. Obviously, it's a picture disc. Music on both sides, clearly. And what's different about this EP, it's not just some normal reissue of In God We Trust Incorporated, which if you go to a record store, that has older punk records, or if you go to a record show, you are pretty likely to run into a copy of this EP. But this is a copy of what the people putting this EP out, or putting this picture disc out, MVD Audio. This thing also comes with a DVD video of the sessions that went into this EP. They are calling this EP Previously Unreleased Lost Sessions of these tracks. They certainly sound that way. You are hearing alternate takes of tracks from this EP on this picture disc. At least in the case of songs like Rawhide and We've Got a Bigger Problem Now, either that or the takes of tracks like Hyperactive Child and Dogbite and Keepone are so identical to the takes that the Dead Kennedys used on the final version of the EP that I can't really tell that great of a difference. In terms of the performance anyway, what definitely does give this record away as something different than that original Dead Kennedys EP is that the mixing is pretty different. The guitar is definitely not as crushing as they are on the original tapes. And while it's kind of shocking at first, and I think ultimately it does make this picture disc more of a fan, pursuit more than it is for someone who has no clue what Dead Kennedys are all about. Do listen to the original version of this EP instead. But if you're a fan, it does make it interesting to listen to these versions because with the guitars not being so crushing, other things like subtleties in Jello's voice, or what the drums are doing, or what the bass is doing, all of these things sort of become so much more obvious, like on the song Dogbite. If you've listened to that song a lot of times, in the background of that song, there are ridiculous dog barks, who that could be being performed by DH or Klaus or East Bay Ray. I'm not sure. I haven't checked out the DVD quite yet. Don't know if that footage turns up in there and, that sort of is made apparent by that. But, they're so much louder in these demo versions of these songs that it's kind of hilarious. But also, there's a lot of guts to the playing. There's a lot of excitement and also tons and tons of in-between song banter to the point where, like, before the song We've Got a Bigger Problem Now, Jello Biafra is like, literally, you know, discussing with either the band or the producer behind the board, like, hey, how should I sing this part, or should I like try this when I sing this or whatnot. So it's like, you know, kind of on the fly, they're deciding how ultimately these songs are going to sound on the record. You know, and you're sort of audience to that, and it's a really cool thing. Again, I think a must-have for a hardcore fan of Dead Kennedys. And even though there are some people out there that do complain about the audio quality of picture discs, at least in this particular instance, wasn't really seeing it. You know, sounded really clean to me. The only real buzz or hiss that I was catching was, you know, or sort of flaws in the recording that I was hearing was mostly to do with the original tapes or the sessions themselves. You know, there is like, you know, a little bit of hum going on when all the instrumentation is silent, which I think has more to do with, you know, just the recording of everything than it has to do with the record itself. It's an interesting little peer into the efforts and sort of the energy that went behind that In God We Trust EP. All right, next record, because I'm a fan of the band and I was sort of dying to hear what this sounded like, so I couldn't like say no to an opportunity to hear this when the chance came to get a copy of this. The Anamanaguchi, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, versus the World, the game soundtrack. So if you didn't know, Anamanaguchi, fantastic 8-bit rock outfit, and they did the soundtrack for this Scott Pilgrim video game. And the cover art to this thing is amazing. And there's some really cool images of the game and the band and the track listing, sort of also talking about, you know, crediting the songs to certain members of the band, which is actually really cool. You know, it's interesting to see what songs come from which person in the group, because I've never quite fully understood the songwriting dynamic of Anamanaguchi, and it's going to be interesting to sort of listen to these songs over and over. I listened to this record once through already, but sort of listen to them and sort of see if there are certain qualities or characteristics that I can catch when one person is composing a song versus another. But maybe the process is more collaborative than the simple liner notes will lead on. But anyway, the coolest thing about this record, about not only does it sound great, and a lot of the songs on this thing are pretty interesting, I think the only downside to this record is that there are a lot of abrupt fades to the tracks on this thing. So if you want to continue hearing them, they just kind of like end out of nowhere. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that, I mean, these are literally video game songs. I mean, you know, they sort of repeat as you are playing through a level or a stage or something. You know, they don't have like a very clear finish, middle, beginning, and whatever. They just kind of continue as you're playing. So, you know, these songs really only last as long as they need to, and then they all kind of cut out. So, you know, if you're dying to hear the music from this soundtrack, or just dying to hear some more stuff from Anamanaguchi, maybe you really loved their last record, or you love the 7-inch singles that they put out a couple of years ago. God, they're so good. They're so good. My skateboard will go on amazing. But yeah, the record sounds fantastic, and it is like this clear, yellowy, greenish color. Really nice. Really nice. You see my face through it. You can see my face through it. Oh my God. So yes, it's totally gorgeous. You know, kudos to anybody who was able to pick up a copy of this thing. You know, hopefully there's going to be more copies available at some point. All right, moving on to, I got, you know, I'm a big Destroyer fan. Had to get this, never owned this on vinyl, and I think Dan Behar's work is amazing, and this is a gatefold, and it's 180 gram, got all the lyrics in there, magical, and yeah, you know, it's pretty plain, straightforward packaging and everything like that. You know, it's just like a really nice, well put together package, black vinyl. Like I said, 180 gram, Destroyer This Night, second favorite to Street Hawk, you know, and Kaput. I love Kaput. A lot of you guys know I love Kaput. Like I said, straightforward packaging, you know, just an opportunity and excuse to finally own that album on vinyl. You know, if you're into eccentric, crazy singer-songwriters, get into Destroyer. You know, Dan Behar is definitely one of the best out there, in my opinion. All right, and I think I only have one more. Yeah, I only have one more record store day thing. I have a few more records after this, but this is my last record store day record, and this is the record that got me out participating in record store day. Period. This is the record I had to freaking have on record store day. Liar's Mess on a Mission, 12-inch, with an awesome B-side, the song Blah Vets, and also remixes of this track from Black Bananas, Freezer Jam, and Silent Servant. Yeah, Black Bananas, Freezer Jam remix, and then Silent Servant remix. I think I dug the Black Bananas remix more than the Silent Servant remix, but not so much that it doesn't ruin the record or anything like that. This is just crazy insane. This is like string. This is yarn in like wedged in between the two sides of this freaking record. And pulling it out here. Wish me luck. You know, you have the really cool, it says Liars there on the sleeve. And yeah, I mean, let's bring this in a little closer. Let's bring it in a little closer, shall we? Oh, come on. We gotta focus. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Now you see this crazy shit? You see this, man? You seeing this? The colors, Duke. The colors. So yeah, there's like all this crazy yarn in the middle of the freaking record. Of course it sounds freaking amazing. And I've noticed that like there is a weird kind of design flaw with the record, like right here. Like right here. There you go. That like little piece of yarn right there is almost like coming out of the record, and you can't like really tell, but it's almost like causing like kind of a raised bump on the record itself. I don't know, you know, I mean I've played this thing several times over and I haven't noticed like any change in sound quality or anything like that as I am you know, playing through this record. So I don't think it ruins it or anything like that, but it's just like an interesting little quirk in this record that is already so quirky to begin with. You know, like not every vinyl that has this yarn in it looks the same, you know, and you can't like shake it around or anything like that. It's wedged in there. So, you know, like in a way, each copy really is unique to a degree. You know, and that's just kind of another weird thing that makes it stick out or whatever, you know. So yeah, this freaking Liars record. This is the reason I participated in Record Store Day in the first place. I was just like dying to get a hold of this thing. You know, the wedge over here, sort of in the middle, is a little rough looking. You know, but again, it's just a really interesting concept. You know, in terms of like putting out a piece of vinyl. You know, it's stuff like this that. Hold on. Come on. It's stuff like this. Sorry, just had a little cleaning issue there. It's stuff like this that I think is going to, you know, keep vinyl interesting into the future. You know, creative ideas like this, you know. I mean, of course I love the song. And I think the new Liars record that this single comes from is one of the best tracks of the year. But as soon as I saw this thing online, I was like, I had to have it. You know, like, what the hell? This is definitely the most eccentric, craziest, most colorful, weirdest piece of vinyl that I own, and I'm gonna be excited to have my hands on it for years to come. Let's get into a few records that were not Record Store Day centric, but I did manage to pick up recently. Xiu Xiu's Nina Simone covers on the Xiu Xiu record. A lot of you guys may remember that I reviewed this record earlier in the year. Just really strange renditions of these Nina Simone tracks. Just incredibly weird and unorthodox. To the point where you're either going to love this freaking thing or just outright hate it. Or be kind of lukewarm on it, but secretly hate it on the inside, but you don't want to freak out about it or nothing. But yeah, you know, of course I love the music on it. But I just saw this and saw that it was just a really nicely put together package, and that just like the cover art just looks so beautiful and just impressive in person. And on top of that, There's also this really cool gray-white pattern with the record. I think that looks fantastic. It looks great. I was just playing it earlier today. Looks fantastic. Stellar. Stellar little package. And I love the sexy black sleeve. It's like I'm pulling out a porno. Kind of is. All right. Moving on. Again, what do you think of these people? They take record store day releases, they put them up on eBay. They're like, you know what? You're going to pay a whole ton of money for this amazing Liars 12-inch. Curious. Just doesn't seem cool. Tim Hecker, Imaginary Country. Drone, ambient music on here. Not quite as rough as, some of the stuff that he's been putting out recently, but still really pleasant and beautiful and a little dreary as well at points. 2 records thrown into a big chunky sleeve out on Cranky Records. And, nothing amazingly crazy about the packaging. The records are just black. They look wonderful. It just looks and sounds great. You can buy records sometimes just because they sound good. Just because there's good musics on them. It's not all about the flash sometimes, but, still. Tim Hecker, Imaginary Country. I have listened through this a few times before digitally a while ago, but have not listened to it all the way through on vinyl yet. I'm like 3/4 of the way through it. I'm going to revisit it maybe tonight after I'm doing this video. Next, we have, oh man, my boys. I actually have not laid the needle onto this record yet, so I'm like, maybe they won't be my boys after this. Maybe I'll be like, whoa, I hate this, but I don't know if that's going to happen. BADBADNOTGOOD, or otherwise known as Bad Bad Not Good. Latest record, 3, got it on vinyl. I'm going to lay it right there next to my crazy-ass Flashing Lights 12-inch with the amazing etching on the fucking other side of that thing. Sorry for swearing. Nice package they pulled together on this thing. Man, nice, guys. I mean, if this record totally fucking sucks, then you still put together a hell of a package. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. The job that you guys in Innovative Leisure did on this whole thing is wonderful. It just looks great. And again, I love the gatefolds. The records themselves look nice. I love the freaking labeling on this thing too. Nice clean gray with the very simple font. It's minimalist. It's sort of dark, and I just love the contrast with the backside of the record art too. We just have this like really weird dark portrait of the band where it kind of seems like on the front side where we're like looking up at them as if like, we're like down in a deep, dark, ugly pit, and they're like, it puts the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again. And we're like, no, we don't want to get the hose. But on this side, they seem like 3 chill guys. They seem like 3 totally chill bros. They seem like 3 like cool guys that you want to hang out with. And you go hang out with them, and then you end up down here. Don't trust these guys. I'm telling you, don't trust them. So there is that. I have to lay the needle on that soon, very soon. And then finally, Timbre's new record, Hot Dreams. Oh my God, I saw this thing in person and I was like, I really love this record. It's one of my favorites of the year, but I was sort of thinking like, should I get this on vinyl? And then in person, when I saw it at the record store, I was like, whoa, I can see myself in it. And if there's anything I love, it's something that looks like me. So, no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, yeah, I mean, obviously you can see the camera in it. I mean, geez. Yeah, it's just a beautiful silver rendition of the cover art. We have this beautiful little download sticker here. And this moon right here, we got this moon that isn't on the original cover art, but it's actually just like printed. It's a sticker on the sleeve itself. So, you know, you pull the record out and you don't get the moon goes bye. And then you just get this. I mean, again, you're actually just seeing the whole room. This is like TND behind the scenes right now. You know, this is just so behind the scenes. Timbre on the other side. God, this is reflective. This is so reflective. I didn't even realize how reflective this was until I started talking about it in this video. Because I must have just been looking at him and like, whoa, this is great, and didn't even realize I could literally see myself in this freaking record. And you know how I said the moon was gone? It's actually not gone at all. I completely lied, because on the flip side of this sheet that tells you all of the artists and the personnel involved is a giant silver moon. Oh my God. Just nice, beautiful job on this thing. And also really nice job on the labeling on the inside as well, because we do have moons here on the record. Just the moons, man. The moons. Just really really nice, consistent theme, and it is a heavy freaking pressing. I was listening to this record earlier. It sounded immaculate. Oh man, did it sound fantastic. Oh, Timbre, they did such a great job with the instrumental moments on this record. Just really upped the ante on that. I have to give it to Taylor Kirk, have to give it to his band. You know, I know I spent my money on this, so I mean, I don't have to, but I still feel like I have to say thank you for, you know, like it wasn't like this was a gift or anything like that. You know, I spent my hard-earned cash on this, but still, I feel like it was still a gift, because of just like the obvious effort and care they put into the look of this package. You know, this is definitely going to go down as one of my favorite, you know, vinyl records that I've purchased this year. Wonderful little presentation there. You know, I love it when I buy a record online, or I download a record online as like a promo or something, or like I buy it off iTunes or whatever. And you know, I like the cover art. The cover art looks nice. But then when I see the record in person, the cover art is either totally different, or it's just got a different kind of flair or presentation to it, or something like that. You know, something that just makes the in-person experience that much more special. And I love that Timbre pulled that off with this release. And yeah, that's it for this new Record Store Day, immensely long vinyl update. Cool? Cool. Transition, what records did you buy on Record Store Day? What new releases made it into your collection? Anything you're particularly proud of? Any sort of amazing vinyl releases that you got your hands on that are super rare, have a really awesome look to them? You know, post some links, post maybe a picture to one of them or something. You know, let's have a discussion down in the comments, you know, and just sort of talk about what each of us got. And yeah, that's it. That's it, man. Record Store Day, Anthony Fantano, vinyl forever.